Good morning. Happy Thursday, sometime in July. Today's coffee is brought to you by a big ass blue mug. That's it. Big ass blue mugs. They're as big as your face and you will spill them everywhere. Big ass blue mugs. Everybody needs one. Oh man, the creative energy is a-flowing. Yesterday on Coffee with Anna, there were three kind of main topics. I know, because I had to go back and edit, which is very difficult. It's like AI should only consume itself so much. Watching yourself and editing videos, I much prefer editing videos where I'm having conversations and podcasts versus Coffee with Anna, where it's like I'm just verbally dumping. There's a reason why this hasn't been permanent on the internet. A lot, and then you throw a squirrel on top of there, and nobody can pay attention to the chaos of how yesterday was recorded. I said to Shane and Sarah and Randall, who are just great people to chat with, and my friends who I am using to be able to talk through this, and my little test market, right, where it's like, okay, so if you watch Coffee with Anna, it's crazy because there's a squirrel up my ass, and I'm talking about what t-shirt quilts are and the theory behind those and the expense and all those things, and trying to describe them. Then I'm interrupted by squirrels. So that's disconnected as it is, right? But the main content I wanted to talk about was the fact that t-shirt quilts might be a viable thing that I can offer again. And I'd be so excited because I love doing them. But then squirrel interruptions, like if me talking about the quilt and what I was getting ready to physically do is like the A side, right? Then if I did a sewing vlog, or a crafting vlog, or custom AF designs, which has been a thing for a long time, and a maker space, is blogging and vlogging that, as opposed to me just crying on the internet about strong emotions, right? I want to take all of that energy that I take to put it somewhere constructive. This is the direction that it's going. But then also, like, on the B side of that would be me going through the closet yesterday, which was a huge experience, right? I went back and watched that with Sarah, and me going through that closet and having not a bad experience was thank you very much, Sarah, for when it was time to pack that shit away, and that was hard because I didn't want to, I was like, oh my God, I went and put all these in packages. I was not able to do that without somebody like Sarah's brain. I have a chaotic artistic brain, and she is a little bit more on that domesticated side where she enjoys that part, and I enjoy making a mess. We are very yin and yang on that sense. Couple things I need to acknowledge is that yesterday I was like, I have to find a rotary cutter. Then I was like, I'm going to try to not go in that closet, and I'm going to look in other places where I would have shoved a rotary cutter. And I went and looked, and the first place I looked, I found a rotary cutter. I was recording and reached in and grabbed it and saw that I saw one. And on camera, you can see the rotary blade. But by the time I had picked it up and actually paid attention, I looked at the back of it. I said to April, I was like, I never had to go in that closet. I mean, I did because I didn't have to go through that closet in the capacity that I did, where she was like, that was are you okay? And it was like, no, I didn't cry one time. But you know what the kicker in the fucking pants is that because I was recording, I didn't see the rotary blade, even though it was caught on camera. I just picked it up and looked at the back of it and didn't see the rotary blade and was like, oh, gotta keep going. And that's why I ended up tearing apart that closet. I ain't even mad about it. When I scramble every day of like, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life? It's like, how about you teach people how to sew because you have all the supplies? Maybe that's something you could do. For anybody that doesn't know, my sewing background. So as a ADHD child during the summer times in grade school, my mother was a crafter, a sewer, a maker, a baker, all those things. She, when Anna is antsy and doesn't know what to do with her energy, she can be annoying. And so during the summer, I think maybe 4th, 5th, 6th grade, sometime in grade school, my mom sat me down with her old clunker Singer. It wasn't a clunker. It is a workhorse, right? She sat me down at her tabletop sewing machine and was like, here's all this extra fabric from all the things that I've made over the years. Start a patchwork quilt. And she showed me how to just sew squares together. Sew them together. Like, she didn't square things off necessarily. It was like, okay, do this. She taught me the theory of sewing. And so every summer for 10 years, it's like, okay, so what am I going to do? It's like, well, you're working on that quilt. I worked on a quilt for 10 years. That quilt I worked on for 10 years. And the summer before I went to college, I actually finished it off. And it was the quilt that I used for a very long time. It was king size. I went to college in a twin bed with this monster king quilt that I'm extra. So I put 3 times the amount of batting that should have been in it because I'm a princess. That thing was a monster. And then I'm sure that there's a picture of it somewhere, but God only knows where. That quilt started it all because it was like, just sew these things together, like just sew straight lines, right? When I went, and that was what my mother was able to teach me, and I took that and doubled down, right? So my freshman year of high school, I signed up for Clothing Construction 1, and they offered Clothing Construction 1 and Clothing Construction 2, and I took that freshman and sophomore year, and they didn't offer any other ones. So I was like, okay, I want to keep doing that, and so they offered me like a teacher's aide, right? So my 3rd and 4th year, I had 4 years of clothing construction through school. And during that time, I made some creative shit. Like I made a fleece jacket and mini skirt that was camo orange. Like I could have gone hunting in it, but it was like a party outfit. I don't know why. I made carpet fur pants for me and my best friend Eric. His were like Grover blue. They were, talk about hot crotch. Oh my God, they were hot. It was so warm. Synthetic fur. I had blue ones, and then I think he had cheetah ones. It was nuts. I wore pajama pants every day. Flannel pajama pants are my jam and will always be. And made those for everybody in my family all the time and loved them. So by the time I graduated high school, it was like, yeah, I'm a good at sewing, and I would like to continue that. So that's what I went to school for. I went to school for fashion design and merchandising. In high school, like I'm an extreme sewer. I drive it like I stole it. In high school, I was learning how to sew with a double needle, and you're not supposed to go fast with those. And I went too fast, and I ended up shattering a needle and having part of it lodged in my eye. That happened. Extreme sew. Are you even really a sewer if you didn't have to wear an eye patch for a week in high school? Are you really an extreme sewer if you didn't have to do that? I have cut the tips off of 2 of my fingers. And I have sewn directly through 3 of my nails. Like extreme sewing. I'll get in it. Yeah, but it only took me 6 hours. And then my bandages on my hands. I was editing the video from yesterday talking to Sarah, and it was the part where I was talking about it's like I haven't done this technique, this one, on t-shirt quilts. This technique, though, as far as like my pay grade and my big dick energy, where it's like, Shane's like, you only realized that you could use that technique like 24 hours ago. And it's like, yes, but bet you're talking to the person that showed up at like 17, 18, 19 at her family's restaurant in flannel pajama pants. And her older, very successful cousin was like, nice pajama pants. And I was like, thanks. I made them. Aren't they amazing? I can sew anything, bet. And he was like, really? I want you to make me a 3-piece suit out of flannel pajama pant material. And I was like, bet. And then I did it. It's like, being able to figure this out now that like I just didn't hyper focus and really marinate on that, and holy shit, it worked. The only frustration I have about the situation is that I didn't think of it 4 years earlier. Like the fact that this didn't naturally occur to me in the process of doing all of the t-shirt quilts that I've outsourced before. It's like, are you kidding me? I'll show you. This is the sample pieces that I'm working on. In the example, like this is a shirt that was my brother-in-law's that I refused to put in his quilt because although it's funny, it's dark and don't touch kids. And then I thought it was extra hilarious that I had this, it's from a music video. I don't know why I think it's George Michael, but this was in a music video. And so it's like, have you hugged your kids today? I have. And it's like, don't do it. So in my sample patch, I figured the only way that I could use this as a sample is if I acknowledge that this one's a little fucking stupid and then put this one next to it. This is the magic of being able to put those 2 things together. And then the back. This is my sample one, and I need to wash it and loosen it up, so I'm getting it dirty. I'm in love with the cross sections, and if I wanted to do more, I could do a crisscross, but for all intents and purposes, I have tested and proved the theory, and I can't wait to do more. The fact that I did it, yes. I'm going to go high five myself for a while. And I'm going to go in the back and high five myself for a while. Some people call that clapping. I don't. I used to say that to clients all the time when I crushed their hair. It's like, girl, it'd be weird if I was like, oh, I'm going to give myself a round of applause. That's a weird thing to say. I think it's less weird to be like, I'm going to go in the back and high five myself because I'm really proud, but also that's weird. Anyhoozle, today, two different things. Number one, I have tested the theory. So yesterday I was like, oh my God, this is a t-shirt quilt. This is a t-shirt quilt. No, those are t-shirts that are set to go all into a quilt. All of my old Blarney Island, my Dublin O'Shea's, my sweatshirts that I didn't want to give up. And then I have like the extra pieces from other ones for samples for me to try out. So my inside project is that I am set up to sew and to keep going and to video and get all that kind of stuff. What's on the back burner and I'm super, super fucking excited about, I don't know if you saw the post on my Facebook or not, but I don't need a boat. I'm well aware that I do not need a boat. But what happened was, in the last week, I've been having a conversation with Kevin from Denise Glass about the pieces that he has made. We have a friend that passed away last year. His name is Jason, and I love him. And I'm doing a memorial garden for my mother, right? And Jason's passing very much affected my mother and I. He passed a couple months before my mom did. So he's been heavy on my mind, and I would like to do something in honor of him, whether that is a guitar case planter, whether that is a hippie pineapple planter. I don't know what it is. So I'm conversing with my friends that are also in this state of grief of like, I just want to do a little something because he's on my mind, right? So Denise Glass is going to help me create something beautiful. I don't know if that's something to hang and catch the sun in glass. I don't know, but we're working on that project. He makes some really awesome pieces, and I have a couple of necklaces that he made me a few years ago. Big fan of his artwork. Cannot wait to work on something with him to put in the garden. Another friend of mine who's in Germany, her name is Michelle, also a friend of Jason's, where I was like, I don't know what kind of plants and like different kind of flowers. And she's like, well, his birthday was in May, so lily of the valley would be nice. And he always talked about like he liked plants that had the green and red and purples in them. And so she sent me some perennials that I then forwarded to Melissa Pergel at Pergel's Plants and was like, hey, can you help me source these things? So between Denise Glass's suggestions of what we can do to artistically make something and Michelle and Melissa's plant input, it's like, okay, I'm going to do another space. Facebook Marketplace gets me into trouble. And I said it in that post where it's like, I don't need a boat, but if a boat showed up, I'd be obliged to make that boat a thing. And it's only $20. And my husband was like, we could build a boat out of pallets. And it's like, no, I know, but I wouldn't build that boat out of pallets. And I like that boat because it once was probably yar and lived a life on the water, but maybe now it doesn't. I just got a message that the boat is available, in fact, today after 11 o'clock. But that no, in fact, I couldn't pick it up by myself because it's a boat. And that, yes, it'll fit in the truck, but I just need an extra set of hands. So I texted my extra set of hands and was like, listen, remember the dome, pergola, and trampoline situations? Yeah, that boat's available. I'll pick you up at 11. Things I said to my husband yesterday, I was like, did you happen to see one of my posts on the internet about a boat? I don't need a boat, right? I don't need a boat. I was like, but 598 people think that I might need a boat. And he's like, well, I'm one of them. I was like, okay, well then 599 people think that I might need a boat. That's $20. And he's like, what? And I was like, mm-hmm. And I showed it to him and I was like, I cannot. I made a post and I even posted on there like, I know myself, like I should not hit, is this available? But I hit, is this available? And I'm just waiting. And if it's available, what do I do? Because impulse control, I could not hit the button. Like, do I respond to like, oops, that was an accident? Or do I say, yep, I'm going to pick up a $20 boat? It's like, how big is that boat? And I'm like, I don't know. It's no bigger than a Lund. Nobody sells a boat bigger than a Lund for $20. Like that's it. Like you can't blindside me. If I go to pick up a Tinker toy, I'm going to be pissed. And I'm not spending $20 on that. But if I'm spending $20, it better not be bigger than a Lund because I don't know how to get that home. It is available. It is too heavy for me to lift. Randall is available to go with me. I'm leaving here at 11 to go pick up it's 12 feet. It's a 12-foot boat. Okay, so then I texted Shane and was like, all right, I don't know if I'm over my head. You're at work. So my plan is to keep the bed down, put it in at an angle, and then ratchet it in and drive slow. Like, am I missing anything? And he's like, nope, sounds like you got it. And it's like, we're getting a boat. This boat doesn't go on the land. It doesn't go on the land. It's going to go in the yard. It's going to be a yard boat. And if you don't think I'm going to build a water feature around it so that it looks like a beached river rock stream, oh God, I can't. The artist in me is foaming at the mouth. I'm not supposed to be thinking about boats in the yard right now. I'm supposed to be sewing. But it's gorgeous outside and not too hot, and that's difficult for me. And somewhere just around the river bend, because it's down the street from Blarney Island, there's a boat awaiting for me that's not available for another hour and a half. So I'm going to go and get as much sewing stuff done and buttoned up and organized so that I can pin it and walk away and pick up a boat in case I get captivated, I don't know, by the boat. And then it's like, oh crap, I'm not going to be able to get back to that till after the weekend of my family reunion. So today will go down as the day I got a boat. It's my land boat. It's my yard boat. My land yard boat. It's my land yard boat. That's, my brain is trying to go through the list of things we have to do, right? I can button up the fabric, do what I have to do, because I still have 4 weeks. Like, I just needed to test the theory. My tomato plants are going ham, but realizing they're choking some of the peppers. So, like, I have to move some stuff around in general. That I had yard stuff to do before, but now there's a boat involved. What am I going to do with that boat? Truly doesn't matter. It can go in the front yard, behind the shrubbery. Nobody will see it. That is future Anna's problem. I'm going to not think about where that's going and what I'm going to do with it and what I'm going to plant in it. No, God. Because I have set myself up for success. Guess what I get to do on Monday? On Monday, Melissa from Pergle's Plants is taking me on a nursery tour so I can go vlog nursery tour visits and hopefully not impulse buy, because I don't go to nurseries by myself. I can go there by myself. I'm going to spend a comma. I don't have any money. Can I help you figure out? I don't know how to. I'm just learning how to touch dirt. Can I assist? So I'm literally going to intern with her for a day. I'm going to record and see what nurseries are like and see what other plants. And then I'm going to go to her house and she's giving me a cucamelon that I'm going to dig up. Like, Monday is going to be a fun day. I'll figure out whatever fucking plants go in the boat on Monday. That's a Monday Anna problem. That's a Monday Anna problem. Today, right now, before having to leave to go, before boat Anna, boat owner, yard boat Anna needs to check in. I got the best I had one of the nicest moments yesterday, right? I'm squirrely in general and need to put my energy somewhere. I've identified that. And in doing this vlog and my YouTube, I've recorded. And I think I have my first, sewing vlog, official video that I put out, which I'm nervous about. Like, I can talk on Coffee with Anna all day fucking long and say whatever I want, but if I swear permanently on the internet, the algorithms will knock that down. It's like, how do I edit myself, right? So I have a video of this information about t-shirt quilts and going through and my first, it's instead of doing a podcast where I'm just talking, it's weird being in person on camera. So we were watching my first sewing vlog and it's like, is it okay? Do you guys like it? Do I look like an asshole? Do I sound like an asshole? Am I just somebody blowing smoke up their ass? I'm looking for a test market feedback, but my anxieties are all hanging out. And we were watching it and it got the engagement that I thought it would. But I just put shit out there and then people sometimes send me messages, right? What COVID did is messed up my ability to engage with people because text messaging and unless you're FaceTiming or in person with somebody, I can't tell people's intonations and tones and their emotions, and it makes communication very difficult for me, right? Everybody has issues. I would imagine that everybody has issues sometimes with text message or emails, where that's where emojis came into play, where it's having to quarantine with Grayson and our special fun kind of autisms and communication styles made it so that I'm really good at this kind of communication, but when it comes to the outside world and people, being quarantined made it so most of my relationships were that via text message or engagements on social media, and those are very hard to read emotions or intonations sometimes. And when you're a person who like always assumes the worst, it's like that makes it very disconnected. Everybody's wires, I think, are a little jacked up since COVID. But I explained it's like I don't think people realize how much that affected. Like I'm autistic. When I can't see a person, I don't know what they're saying. So while I'm full of anxiety and wondering if I'm just like, what am I doing? Am I wasting time? Is this? So everybody has issues. I would imagine that everybody has issues sometimes with text message or emails, where that's where emojis came into play, where it's like having to quarantine with Grayson and our special fun kind of autisms and communication styles made it so that I'm really good at this kind of communication, but when it comes to like the outside world and people, being quarantined made it so most of my relationships were that via text message or engagements on social media, and those are very hard to read emotions or intonations sometimes. And when you're a person who like always assumes the worst, it's like that makes it very disconnected. Everybody's wires, I think, are a little jacked up since COVID. But I explained it's like I don't think people realize how much that affected. Like I'm autistic. When I can't see a person, I don't know what they're saying. So while I'm full of anxiety and wondering if I'm just like, what am I doing? Am I wasting time? Is this not valuable? Right? All those worries. While we were watching that and I was in that anxiety, I got a text message. I think that's just like the fact that I was vulnerable enough and like, okay, what do you guys think? And that at that exact moment that we were on that topic and talking about it, that I got that message. It was really sweet. And I sent her back this message. I thanked her, and then I was like, can I post this? Because 13 years ago, my mom and I she was having twin boys, and so we made a blue one and a green one, and I know how to crochet and make amigurumi animals, and so I crocheted like a dozen different animals for her, and we made a shit ton of burp cloths. I talked about that yesterday. Like sewing came from my mom, and so it always gives me this bucket of tears response, but like I think she'd be really proud of knowing that like my fundamentals and my love of sewing came from her. And it was like the OG craft that really stuck. And so I think that she'd be proud of what I'm trying to do. I said to Shane, I'm not doing anything different. These are all the things that I did on Custom AF Designs. I just didn't know how to streamline the social media. So now managing that social media better and being able to have it managed and streamlined better makes it so that it doesn't just go away after 24 hours, right? Like there's a value there, and my mother was able to bring a lot of joy to the world with her creativity. Oh. And if I can just tap into that a little bit, then I think I'm on the right path, right? To get that message at that time, like 13 years ago, my mom and I were sewing because another Haley baby was coming, and I'd miss those times with her where we would break out our machines, and she'd always but she'd be like, Anna, don't, because I don't cut my threads, I rip them. Oh God, it used to drive her nuts like instead of cutting things out, I rip fabric, and she just about would have a heart attack. And so it was always, I just miss it, so it makes me feel like I'm doing something good with the grief, not just with the garden, right? I'm hoping to have the first episode or two up and get a little bit more streamlined over the next few months. That is a personal goal I've set while I'm home with Grayson. I don't know how to just be home with him. We've done that so much. It's like I have to make sure that I'm curating my time and feeling like I'm putting some sort of good out there. So this is the path that I've chosen for right now, and it's a creative outlet that I definitely need, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But I get these little moments where it's like, damn it, my mom would have loved this. I have so many fun stories of like, one day I'll tell the story about how I made a quilt overnight on Christmas Eve because my dad had stolen mine because I stole my brother's. Like, she's the reason I know I can do a quilt in 6 hours, but I'll need an extra set of hands. I am biting off more than I can chew. I need the things that I would like in the next 24 hours. I got to pick up a boat. I got to address the fabric nonsense that's going on in my house. I have to move a bunch of plants and make sure that this backyard is ready to be seen by my aunties if they happen to stop by, because the family reunion is happening this weekend and starts with our golf outing tomorrow. So I'm going to pick up a boat, and then I am mulch mode to get this backyard into presentation mode. That is where I'm at. But I have an extra set of hands in Sarah tomorrow, and I'm grateful for that, because in this streamlining of social medias, not only will I have my vlog or podcast style vlog on YouTube, I am looking to open the door to that, to extend the conversation in a podcast form, and have it be an extension, like the part B side of Coffee with Anna, right? Where this is habitual of me writing in my diary verbally and just leaving it out for anybody to see. I don't really care. That goes away after 24 hours. Being able to pull the content of the projects and builds that I do is what my Custom AF Designs and Custom AF Life social media is for. But I can't acknowledge the creativeness without acknowledging what it takes to get here. And that is kind of where the culmination comes in. And I'd like to be able to continue that conversation permanently in a podcast form with people who have helped me be able to learn how to acclimate again after this weird ass quarantine. Like, I'm excited to see where those conversations go, and hopefully they will keep me a little bit more streamlined than the disconnected feral squirrel that Coffee with Anna is and will still remain. And where the Custom AF Life and Designs, the projects and the artistry and the maker of me is, right, in that podcast realm. It's the B-side. It's the conversation afterwards. It's the talking dead, or the podcast and discussion afterwards, where I said, I'm like, if I can get Coffee with Anna where I have 3 topics that I'm talking about, which means I want to talk about them and I'd like to talk about somebody else, would you be interested in having a format where you guys I can like once a week, Sarah, we can have a conversation where we talk about mom stuff and female aspects. Randall, why aren't we friends? Like, when people, like, it is startling to people how, like, the communication style that we have, and like the inside jokes, and like, when did you become, it's like, yeah, Diamond Dogs, woof woof, like, get yourself a friend that is a safe place. I'd love for Shane and I to have a continuation of Coffee with Anna, because that poor man gets 100% of this all the time. And being able to have intentional conversations about the things that we make, or the things that we do, or what we've been through. I don't know what it looks like, but having that conversation with my husband so that he can have more of a footprint, because I'm a maker, but so is he. That squirrel is 2 feet away from me. She is there staring. Ooh, I'm not getting up and getting you nuts. I'm finishing this and I'm going inside. I would love to be able to have a format where this conversation is extended with other people, and interview the different artists that I know, and because I want to document the collaboration projects I'm on. So it seems to be the natural progression, where I said, I'm like, doing this is not hard for me. The hardest part of editing the content is it's only me, and I'm sick of it. So I need a 2-way conversation where somebody else talks and then I talk and then somebody else talks. Can we get to that format? Because this is too hard for me to have to edit, and I don't want to have to hire somebody. So help me streamline in getting the conversation from just myself, right? As usual, and as I've always been, there's a lot of different projects in the works. And the fun thing about that is they're all collaborative, where it's like, I've done Coffee with Anna by myself for so long. I want to take that format into a longer term conversational podcast that not only embraces the creativity but also acknowledges what comes with that. My cousin said to me yesterday when I was having anxiety about how my shed and my garden looked, and it's like, it's not good enough. Like I would just want my aunts to swoon. I want them to be proud of me, right? And it's like, is it presentable enough? And she's like, Anna, most people would die to have a first year garden that looked like this. And I looked at her and I was like, yeah, but I guarantee you they would like to trade back the negative effects of ADHD and autism. It's like, I was never going to not be good at this, but like also sleeping's hard and I still haven't eaten. Those are conversations that I would like to have with other people because I'm tired of talking about that shit by myself. Like, I get emotional support, camaraderie. I said to Sarah, I was like, that some people don't know how to be cousins in the capacity that we are, and we're second cousins. I was like, and some people assume that we're sisters. Like, some people don't know how to be sisters or cousins like this. Like, that is the special sauce. We learned from, we have a very big family, and we love big. And then we collected cousins along the way, like being able to show people like how integral friendships like this have been for my survival. Like, let's have that kind of conversation. It's the same thing with Shane and Randall, and I feel like you guys are so good at being friends. Let's have conversations and continue the conversations that we are having that are beneficial for all of our friendships, and put it out and come with me when I do this. Would that work? And they're like, we want to do that with you. It's like, okay, let me get my feeding underneath me. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore because I'm too excited about a boat and that squirrel is stalking me, so I have to go inside. I'm going to pause, and I probably will pick up again when I have a boat. I don't know.